Hello, everybody. I'm Skip Elsheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime Streaming Show, where we watch old 16mm films. And I was on a Zoom meeting that ran into the show, so I was like, you know what? This Hoffman Home Movie Travels is beautiful, is stunningly beautiful, except when it was overexposed. But just this beautiful look, just going, up and down the United States. Well, just kind of around the Great Lakes area. Is really kind of fascinating. We watch old 16mm films, as I said, and let's go ahead and get started with improving your posture. Something I should have seen as a kid. This is the second edition, not the first edition, which we've shown. Enjoy.
Well, how about improving that poor posture? Why bother? Let's see how this poor posture looks in some different situations. Why do these people look uneasy, uncomfortable? How about their posture? Good posture is part of good looks. Self-assurance, good health. But you can't have good posture if you don't know what it is. Well, balance is the key. When you're standing, the best body balance is when the feet and ankles, knees, pelvis, chest, shoulders, and head fall within a straight imaginary line. Let's do it all over again, slower. We'll start at the knees and work up. For good, natural standing posture, your legs are relaxed at the knees, not stiff or bowed backward. You've got it. Right. Legs relaxed, knees straight. Like the knees, the pelvis is almost straight. It's easy to do by tightening the abdominal muscles. It keeps the stomach flat and pelvis comfortably positioned. To find the correct tilt for your pelvis, stand with your back to a wall, just touching it with your buttocks and shoulder blades. Feel the position of your pelvis? That's how it should be when you're standing and walking. For good standing balance, your chest is held high. Chest held high? Right. Your shoulders are held back with your arms hanging naturally and comfortably. If your shoulders are back too far, it'll give you a strained, tense look. Right, you've got it. Just relax. Don't relax too much. Try to keep your shoulders level. That's it. Shoulders up, head up. Your body is now properly balanced. Your spine is also important to good posture. As you learned to stand and walk, your spinal column took on gentle curves that provided for shock absorption. Poor body posture produces excessive curves. This can spoil the balance of your body muscles, which work in teams to hold body parts in line. By standing tall, you increase the distance from one end of the spine to the other, making the curves of your spine smaller. One common type of bad posture is the swayback, or excessive forward pelvic tilt. The pelvis should be held with the abdomen and back muscles in balance, not like this. You can help correct swayback with a simple exercise. Stretching and twisting help strengthen the abdominal muscles. Keep your knees bent and bring your back part way into a sitting position. And since body muscles work in teams, stretch those shortened back muscles that come with swayback. This is just one way to stretch those shortened back muscles. Another common posture problem is the backward pelvic tilt, the slouch. With a slouch, the muscles of the back and abdomen are stretched and become weak. The stomach protrudes. When you slump forward, your digestive system is crowded. There's pressure on the blood vessels in the chest and abdomen. Here's a good, simple exercise that aligns the pelvis by strengthening both the abdomen and back muscles. For this exercise to do any good, the back needs to be flat against the floor. Because a sloucher's body is off balance, round shoulders usually develop. An easy exercise that helps correct round shoulders is lying on your back with your arms like this. Press your hands and head back against the floor. That's it. Keep your abdomen firm and raise your shoulders. By doing many different kinds of exercises, your body becomes stronger and more flexible, and that helps improve your posture. Now, what about your feet? Each has two curves, or arches, which help support the body. The longitudinal arch runs from the heel to the toe. If it's weakened, it causes flat feet. The transverse arch is across the ball of each foot. If these arches fail to carry your body weight properly, you'll know it. Your feet will hurt. Both arches of the foot are rounded upward. They're like springs and shock absorbers. To keep your feet in shape, there are many good exercises you can do. One simple exercise is done with a towel. Try to pull it towards you by curling your toes in and out. Use all your toes. Make the little one work too. Keep the toes curling inward and downward. The best foot exercise is the practice of walking correctly all the time. When you're walking, you're involved in what's called body dynamics. As you walk, the body weight should fall first on the heel. Then the weight is put on the outside of the foot and travels across the ball of the foot to the big toe. If you walk with your feet parallel, you'll look better and not get as tired as walking toe in or toe out. When you stand on one foot, you put your weight on the outside of that foot. You also grip with your toes. That's how your feet should be when you're walking. But how do you know if your walking posture needs improving? A simple test to check your walking dynamics is to put an X on the wall at the level of your eyes, then go to the back of the room. Walk toward the X, keeping your eyes straight ahead. Does the X bob up and down slightly? It will a little, even if you have excellent walking posture. But if the X looks something like this, you need to develop a smoother, better balanced walk. While walking, keep relaxed. The length of your steps should be comfortable. If your steps are normally quick ones, it'll tire you to walk too slowly. To help your posture when you carry things, you shouldn't always favor one arm over the other. Using both arms equally helps keep your posture balanced. Sitting is just like standing, from the hips up. Your stomach is in, chest is high, head is high, just like standing. When sitting, your hips are most comfortable when they're well back on the seat. From your hips, your body should incline forward, not be rounded at your back. Good posture is really simple, but any real improvement depends on your own daily practice. If you stay aware of your posture every day and really think about it, it'll improve. And by the time it improves, you won't have to think about it at all.
It's just kind of my deal. Because I grew up tall quickly, and none of my friends grew up tall, so I was kind of hunched over just because I was self-conscious. And my parents tried, and yeah, I survived. I'm sure at some point I'll be a husk of a man. All right. So we pretty much don't like Wonder Cat. But how do we feel about this lizard? Let's talk about that. This is Measuring Matter Mass. Enjoy.
It was one of those days when I was looking for something to investigate. I'm an investigator. The name's Investigator Alligator, and when I want something to investigate, I usually drop in at the workshop of my good friend. That's Mr. E. He always seems able to give me something interesting to think about, like he did on this particular day.
Oh, hi, Al. You're just the person I want to see.
What's up, Mr. E?
Look at this.
Your hand?
No, right here.
Your finger?
Right. Notice my finger.
Nothing's there.
Exactly. And what should be there is my ring.
Where is your ring?
Well, now, that's the mystery I was hoping you'd help me solve.
I'll do what I can, Mr. E. I'll investigate and try to find your missing ring.
Well, I'd appreciate that, Al. And here's a clue to help you get started. The mystery involves mass. And I have a tool to help you solve the mystery. This is a balance. We use it for measuring how much matter is in something.
Matter?
Matter. Everything is made of matter. And when we measure how much matter an object is made of, we're measuring its mass. A balance allows us to compare something whose mass we know to something whose mass we want to measure. Here are some things whose mass we know. This has a mass of 1 gram. So has this. And on the balance, 1 gram balances 1 gram because they have the same mass, 1 gram. A gram is called a unit of mass.
Is mass something like weight?
Well, yes, except that how much a mass weighs depends on where that mass is. The mass of something doesn't change, but its weight can. On the moon, for instance, these would still have a mass of 1 gram each, but they would weigh less than they do here on Earth. So on Earth, these would weigh 1 gram each. This is 5 grams, 10 grams, 50 grams, and 1 kilogram.
Kilogram?
A kilogram is 1,000 grams. This part of the word, kilo, means 1,000. Kilogram, 1,000 grams. And now, you have all the tools you need to help you find my lost ring.
And so I had another mystery from Mr. E to solve. It was about mass, and I called it The Case of the Lost Ring.
I have confidence in you, Al.
I know what I have to do, Mr. E. Find your lost ring by investigating mass. And that's what I did. Some of my friends said they'd be glad to help me. They listened carefully while I explained what a balance was, and what a gram and a kilogram were, and what the mystery was all about. They all agreed that a good way to begin was to investigate the mass of whatever we had with us. So that's what we did. First, we found the mass of a button. It had a mass of exactly 1 gram. We could tell that because the button and the 1 gram mass balanced. That was just like a seesaw. 2 of my friends who weighed the same balanced on it. That meant they had the same mass. We could tell that the button was not as heavy as the ball. And the balance showed we were right. The mass of the ball was more than a gram. It took 13 grams to balance the ball. When the grandmother of one of my friends came by with a bag of groceries, she said she'd let us find the mass of something in it. We picked a package of butter. It had a mass of more than 13 grams, but less than 500 grams. She had another package of butter in her bag. Both packages together had a mass of almost 1 kilogram. I noticed the weight of each package was 1 pound. I could see that a kilogram has a little more mass than 2 pounds. My friend's grandmother said we could find the mass of other things if we wanted to. That was when we found out something interesting. We found that some little things had more mass than some bigger things, or had the same mass as even bigger things. It was easy to see that you couldn't tell how much mass something had by looking at its size. You could only find out by using a balance. While we were helping my friend's grandmother put her groceries back into the bag, I realized that there was one more thing whose mass I wanted to measure. Her ring. It had a mass of 7 grams. But I didn't know the mass of Mr. E's lost ring. Knowing that might help me find it. So I went back to his workshop and asked him.
Why, yes, Al, I happen to know the mass of my lost ring. I weighed it just the other day. It has a mass of exactly 8 grams. That was a good question to ask, Al. You're on the right track. And this is the list of where I went yesterday. I probably lost my ring at one of these places.
So now I had a better idea of what to look for. I knew the mass of what I was looking for, and I had a list of the places where we could look for it. My friends made copies of Mr. E's list. So we could go to all the places on the list, we split up. We searched pretty carefully. And even though we didn't expect to really find anything, we actually found several rings. I checked the mass of each ring. 3 had the right mass, 8 grams. Right mass, but...
Wrong rings. Nice rings, but not mine. Oh, I just remembered something. I was in one other place yesterday that I forgot to put on my list. Right here in my workshop.
But you're usually here, Mr. E.
Yes, but I was doing something that I don't usually do. Making candles.
And then he showed me how he did it.
I start with pieces of wax. Now, I know each of the pieces has the same mass because I put them on the balance. Oh, thanks for bringing it back, by the way. And every chunk of wax balances with every other chunk, so I know they all have the same mass. Then I melt 9 chunks of wax for each candle. And when they're completely melted, I pour the melted wax into a candle mold. And when the wax hardens, I have a candle. My candles have different shapes and sizes, but they all have the same mass because I use the same amount of wax to make each one.
This new information about the candles got me thinking hard, and I realized that there was one more question I had to ask Mr. E. Mr. E,
Yes, Al?
do you usually wear your ring when you make candles?
Funny you should ask, Al, because I just remembered I took my ring off while I was making the candles and put it down here on the window ledge over the candle molds. Yeah, I see what you're getting at, Al. It's possible that my ring dropped into one of the molds while I was making candles. My ring might be inside one of these candles. Will I have to melt them down one at a time until I find my lost ring?
I don't think so, Mr. E, because you've given me the information I need to solve your mystery. You told me your ring had a mass of exactly 8 grams. You also told me that each piece of wax you used to make a candle has the same mass, and you used the same number of pieces for each candle. That means each candle must have the same mass, even though their sizes and shapes are different. But if one of these candles has your ring inside, then it won't have the same mass as the others. It will be exactly 8 grams heavier, and that will be the only one you'll have to melt down. And that's what we did. The first 2 candles balanced, and so did the next 2, and the next. And it kept on that way for a long time, until, look at this, Mr. E. One candle is heavier than the other one. It has more mass.
Well, let's see how much more.
It took 5, 7, 8 grams to balance the heavier candle. 8 grams, just exactly the mass of Mr. E's lost ring.
Well, Al, this is the moment of truth. Let's see if this candle is the culprit.
So he melted the candle down, and there it was. The lost ring.
Oh, you've done it again, Al. While you learned about measuring mass, you've also solved another case with your careful investigation. A little experimentation and a little messing around, and a lot of questions can be answered in science. Well, come again soon, Al. It's always nice to see you.
And it's always fun investigating and finding out things for myself. With a little help from you, Mr. E. And I marked the case of the lost ring solved. Investigator Alligator had done it again.
Where does it fall? I mean, obviously it was made for an older kids than Wonder Cat, but how do we feel about it? I'm guessing that there was a concerted effort by Coronet at this time to let's bring in these animated mascot characters to help kids learn about science. I don't know if it's the same folks or not, but I don't know. Did the noir aspect of it also engage with you? Kids being exposed to this without understanding what it is. It was perfectly meh, is what Rick Kay said. That's hilarious. It's fine. All right, so behind me I have a film set up on the telecine or the scanner, and I have not changed the title. So we're going to try to run this. All right, here we go. Enjoy.
Pardon, messieurs.
Et dites donc, je crois qu'il va falloir...
Une minute. J'arrive, voilà. Monsieur.
J'appelle le tour, je reviens. J'appelle le tour. Ah, je peux pas aller plus vite, mon vieux. Mince alors, oh, Dieu.
Goût de champi, il est bon, hein?
Oh, petite donc, vous.
Ah, ah, ah. Qui a goût de champi, il est bon, hein? Ouais.
Oh, petite donc, vous. 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 Oh Veuillez agréer, messieurs, nos salutations distinguées.
À la gare du Nord.
Bien, monsieur.
Allez, vite, vite.
Qu'est-ce que vous voulez que je fasse?
Oh, mais j'appelais jamais la gare du Nord, moi.
Hé, là, hé, la prise en charge.
Oh,
Et la valise. Alors.
Oh, regarde-moi celui-là, quel crétin alors.
Eh bien, c'est ça, il faut plus se gêner, mais il est formidable, alors celui-là. Non, mais regarde-moi ça.
Allez, laisse,
alors,
viens,
non, mais tu
oui,
te rends
enfin.
compte? Oui, voilà.
Je tourne, mais je reviens. Oh, ouais. Allez, vas-y, mollo, pépère. Hein. Allez. Allez, voilà. La vaisselle, elle est dans le fond. Dans la caisse du fond, la vaisselle,
Attention, bon.
Ah, bah, c'est marrant, prends-le.
Ah bah alors ça c'est le bouquet alors. Ah bah il pousse un peu alors lui.
Allez.
Oh, le tout-
Oh, regarde.
Oh, mais c'est formidable.
C'est pas possible que ce soit
Dans notre voiture, mais qu'est-ce qu'il fait dans la voiture?
Mais dommage madame. Mais
enfin,
permettez-moi de vous dire que vous
Viens voir un peu ce que t'as fait avec ta voiture.
Mais comment mais c'est pas ma voiture mon
Pas ta voiture, mais tu crois que la vaisselle est à moi?
Hein? Où? Là.
Oui, oui.
Ah bien, merci.
Bon, et bien cette fois c'est réglé.
Parfait. Ah, mais si, non. Oh. Ah là. Et alors? Malheureux. Oh. Et là? Non, là, bien sûr. Ah.
Gare du Nord. Vite, vite.
Ah bah alors mais qu'est-ce que c'est que celui-là alors? Mais vous sortir de ma voiture.
Enfin, vous êtes taxi, oui,
Non,
alors.
alors
Enfin, regardez, là.
Non, mais vous occupez pas de ça. Qu'est-ce que c'est votre valise?
Oh, ma valise. Oh, mes affaires, ma valise. Mais qu'est-ce que je vais dire chez moi maintenant? Regardez un peu ce que vous avez fait, vous.
Oh, mais c'est pas de ma faute.
Comment c'est pas de votre faute?
Attends, je vais citer ça, on va s'expliquer.
Mais c'est pas moi qui ai jeté la valise, ça,
S'il vous plaît. Oh. Celui-ci? Non, 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 non. Ça. Très bien. Parfait. Elle vous plaît?
Oui, parfait. Joyeux...
Wacky, all right. Yes, it was. And it won an Oscar. How about that? Won an Oscar. We love it. All right. I'm a little off right now because I have not found the next thing for you to watch. But hey, let me just go ahead and talk to you a little bit. See how you're doing. What's been going on? God, I just drew a blank. Anyways, I very much appreciate you guys tuning in. I say this all the time, but I really just want you to know that in doing a live show, reinforced this earlier this week, that I collect these films so that I can show them to you and share them. And so the fact that you guys tune in and you let me pick and choose what we're going to watch, and you have not stormed away angry at me, or sure, there's some, it's okay to complain some, but I appreciate you keep coming back, and that means a great deal to me. Certainly hitting the like and the subscribe button and other ways, those are ways to, without spending any money, to show support for us in what we do. But the other thing is like money. We can certainly use some money. We're in the midst of pulling stuff out of our basement, which is damp and nasty and needs to be refurbed, and taking things off site. Unfortunately, we have to go and throw out some things. We found films that are too far gone, but they were already we took them in already at a place where they were kind of iffy. So, we're losing a couple hundred films when we go through a couple thousand films, but we have so many films and we have a lot of duplicates, so I don't feel so bad about what we're losing. But the main thing is doing this show every day helps us watch these films, like this film, I haven't seen. Some of these other films that we show that have already been scanned, I haven't watched them. I had other people scan them. My assistants are scanning them. So this is an opportunity for me to watch my collection, and I'm happy. And if I was going to just watch the collection myself, no, I'd want other people around, because this is part of the deal. It's like I like to share it with folks like you, and you appreciate it. You get what we do, and so thank you so much for that. Thank you, Richie Ruggs, for the money. That helps. But one of the things that I've noticed, and some people, I've mentioned this before, is that the YouTube advertising money that used to come in is been cut in half. And I don't know if that is something that YouTube has refigured how they're doing, because they tend to do that often. But I might be making more asks for money, just because the YouTube ad revenue was paying for all the storage rental, but now it's not. So it's only paying for 2 of the storage units, and we have 4. So I might be trying in the next couple of weeks, trying to come up with a scam, a way to support us and support the collection while it's off site. The idea is eventually we're going to refurb it so that all the things can come from the storage unit and be in a safe space. But anyways, I digress. Maybe do a telethon or something. I'm not going to do another 16-hour show. Not for a couple of months, at least. Not for 6 months. But we'll figure out some way to get support to where you guys will feel invested in what we're watching and seeing and all that stuff. But I still don't have anything set up, and I started early, so I think I'm going to end early. Do another After Dark. Oh, that might be a good idea. Yeah, we'll do it for some moolah. But just to say it one more time, thank you so much for watching. That is the most important thing you can do to support AV Geeks. Commenting, sharing, telling other people about what we do. Those are all also great things. The other thing you can do is support us. And so you can do that via the Super Thanks button or Super Thanks option in the chat. ko-fi.com/avgeeks, patreon.com/avgeeks. There's people on there who have subscribed, and so that's great. That's helped us a lot. And that helps kind of cover the gap a little bit. But so I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you so much. And we will see you on Monday. Everybody take care of yourself. Zimmerman said it, and I think it's pretty great. Wait, it's gone. Where is it? I had a notes thing. Basically, he quoted the Michael Landon quote when we showed the National Kids Quiz. It says, "Love each other and listen to each other." It's a great thing to do. And take care of yourself. We want you to come back. So, everybody, have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday. Take care.